So do you know much about the Bohemian Grove?
Definitely. In fact, I don't know if I've got it next to me still, but I had these two thick Bohemian Grove yearbooks that I was going over last night, and I looked them up on eBay. I can't believe they're going for like $600 plus now, but I
What?
bought them up in like the late '90s. I got like five or six of them.
What? Where did you get them from?
Here, eBay. Yeah, so like here's one of them, and this is called the Annals of the Bohemian Club, 1988 through 1996. Here, let me see if you guys are interested, I'll pull up some of the pages.
Yeah, that's so fucking cool.
But this is probably the last remaining truly like powerful known secret society. And I guess it's very American specific. I don't know if there's any
Yeah.
Europeans that are in Bohemian Grove. Here we go. Let's see here. I just got this, so bear with me. I don't know what I'm doing
Are you
exactly.
going to be sharing your screen?
Yeah. Oh, actually, no. I don't share my screen. I can just change my video.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So here we go. So this is my here we go.
This is insane that you've got this.
I've got a sick collection of Bohemian Grove stuff. So like highlights of 1988, right? Oh wait, hold on. I gotta move my mic here. Highlights of 1988. You can see they're dressed up. They've got like some guys from like Giants costumes, but here it immediately starts getting interesting. They loved playing dress up and drag. This is like their favorite thing to do
What?
is get dressed up and put makeup on. These are leaders of, you know, government, politics, intelligence agencies, financial institutions. This is what they do for fun. Here they're putting on this huge play with like a fabricated house and everything, like a big stage play. Um, and we're talking like over the top, right? Look at these costumes,
Oh yeah.
chainmail and look at how many
All
we're
right.
getting too close to the truth.
That is dodgy that this has happened. Let's keep going.
Let's see. This is a thick, thick book with lots and lots of images in it, but I'll show you some of the other like really interesting ones. This is one of my favorite pages in here. Look, this is a licensed Ghostbusters logo. They're reenacting Ghostbusters at Bohemian Grove, complete with the green ectoplasm and everything. This dude's like floating, like he's being possessed. We've got what looks like Herman Munster in one of them. This is on special effects night. Let's see. Yeah, so here's an actual ceremony that's happening in Bohemian Grove. It was cremation of care, right? It says it right there, cremation of care. And here they're doing this mock human sacrifice in front of this huge stone owl.
This is
And
what
they all
Alex
just like stand
Jones, some
around.
ceremony that Alex Jones broke into.
Yeah, this is the reason they get together is to do this particular ritual. But in addition to this one ritual, there's so many other things that go on. There's lakeside talks, there's plays, there's like, it's like this whole retreat. This is kind of like the big shebang at the end of it all, or that sets it off essentially. But this is not the only thing that happens there. So like, here's one of the plays they put on, another one.
What is that?
So this one is called Pompeii. This is a play that they put on every year. They have a fully choreographed with costume designs, and a whole soundtrack, everything, every single year, fully produced. They put out hardcover bound books and everything about it.
And these are political, financial leaders. They're acting in the plays.
Yeah, I mean, so it's sort of like an honor to be put in one of these plays with like a speaking part. A lot of the time it's going to be thespians and actors and musicians that are in them, but every once in a while when someone's going to be honored, they'll give them like a role in one of these plays. I'm gonna skip through some way. And this is another really interesting one because this is from Owl's Hoot, which is like a little newsletter that would only be, and this book and all the newsletters would only be given to Bohemian Grove members. The only reason I got this is because someone died and I got it in an estate sale. But this image here where it says you're weaving again, because their motto is weaving spiders or spiders we've not here. I'm botching that, but their phrase is basically like, don't come here and talk politics, don't talk shop. So this little cartoon is showing like one of the sober spiders telling the drunk spider like, hey, stop talking shop. And that's kind of like the unwritten rule, is that you're supposed to be there to not care about things. That's why they cremate care. Like they're literally burning away their cares of the world. So you're not supposed to talk about worldly things while you're there. You're supposed to just like live in the moment. It's very zen.
Hmm. So do you think there's anything sinister behind this?
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is where like the Manhattan Project got its launch.
Okay, yeah.
This is where like information gets given out to all the elites. This is like insider trading, but with reality. So I think that there's something nefarious about just that in itself. We got some more music here. Here's another one that's taking place. See the big stone owl behind them, and the story is that that stone owl was already there when they went to scout the area out, and they were just like, well, this is perfect. So they just kind of like made that their home base.
Oh, so there's no significant reason why they're so associated with the owl, apart from the
Oh, there,
fact that
there
that was
definitely
there.
is. But I, because represents Minerva and being able to see in the middle of the night, and have, being wise, and also being able to like spin your head on a swivel 360 degrees. All of these things play into that, and it's also in like a lot of media and academia is related to this owl symbolism. And there's so many in here. I'm trying to find a page that has like, it's got George Bush, it's got Walter Cronkite, it's got Richard Nixon. They're all here. So I've got many books on all this, but this really is they're doing like magic tricks, and then right under that they're reenacting the Civil War with the Confederate flag.
This is insane that you've got hold of one of these.
Yeah, these are this right here, all the lakeside talks, and this is where that insider information gets spread out to everyone. This is also, a lot of people don't know this, but like the Simpsons prophecies, where everyone's like, "Oh, the Simpsons knows what's going to happen before it happens." Well, Mr. Burns, Henry or Harry Shearer, that does the voice for Mr. Burns, he's in the Bohemian Grove. He's in the Bohemian Club. So he goes to these lakeside talks and he does hear what's going to happen before it happens. And in fact, when Alex Jones broke into the Bohemian Club back in like the 90s, Harry Shearer was so irritated by this, he created a movie called The Teddy Bear's Picnic, and it's about people trying to infiltrate a teddy bear picnic, and it was like this inside sort of joke that he turned into an entire movie. It's wild, and that movie, Teddy Bear Picnic, is about Alex Jones breaking into the Bohemian Club.
Oh yeah, here, Harry Shearer.
And
I
here's
need to
another one.
watch this. That's
It's not a good movie, but if you know the backstory, it's just interesting that the only reason that movie exists is to take a jab at Alex Jones. Imagine you had that much budget that you could just make an entire movie to be like, you're a jerk.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like Bohemian Grove is incredibly important. Here we go. Here's one of the big pages. So there's George Bush. I think I can zoom in too. Yeah. So there's Papa and little baby Bush. You got Newt Gingrich. You've got Lee Lu of Tiananmen Square, I guess, was also in Bohemian Grove. Kind of crazy. And then Walter Cronkite, I think he was around here somewhere, but Walter Cronkite actually was the voice of the narrator. So when they did the cremation of care ceremony and they're talking about burning care, he's the voice that enacts all of that. And he was supposed to be like the guy that, like spoke for the American people and the voice of America. This is another one. This one is all about the artwork and the visual arts. Oh, home zoomed in again. So yeah, this is all about like the artistry, but there's a really cool section in here about the architecture, and it shows what some of the original Bohemian Grove camps look like, but they're way different now. So here's the examples. So this is like old school. It doesn't look like this anymore. But when they first started, look at this like big watchtower made out of just wood. So originally there was rules that you had to make your encampment out of all natural things. You couldn't import any kind of luxuries from like the real world. You had to stay like au natural. And then here's no more examples. And you can see this book came out in the late 90s. So at this point, like they weren't playing by those same rules. Now they got, like AC and they've got like nice little lodges, but this is like sort of the remnants of what it used to look like. And
When
then
did it originally start?
I believe the 1800s, late 1800s, and the history of Bohemian Club too. Here, let me switch back to just me. But the history of Bohemian Grove is interesting because it actually started to it was meant to be for the artists. So you've got all these artists that are on the West Coast, and they're kind of getting fed up because all they're doing is they're getting money for like these corporate gigs, right? They don't want to just keep painting billboards and store signs and stuff for like the big corporate or whatever the version of like Woolworths was at that point. So they decide like, hey, let's just get away from everything. We'll go out into the woods. We'll like frolic and play. We'll just do plays and we'll do artwork and we'll just do our own thing away from all these rich jerks that we rely on to like keep us, living. So they go and they do this, and like typical artists, they run out of money very quickly. So at a certain point, on like the third annual Bohemian Grove meeting, they're like, man, we're running out of money. We can't really afford to just go and frolic in the woods for a couple weeks. And we don't have any food or anything cool to bring out there. So someone's like, well, this guy that's been hiring me to do all the stupid billboards and storefronts, like if we invite him and say like he can just kind of be like my guest, he'll be my plus one, he'll throw down like a couple grand, right? So that'll let us have this party. So they do that and they bring Mr. Moneybags, and Mr. Moneybags shows up and he's like, this is awesome. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, what do you call this? Like, oh, it's Bohemian Club. Don't say anything. It's kind of a one-off that we let you in. So it's over. He goes back and he tells all of his other rich friends, and he's like, guys, these guys are having a blast out in the woods. They got parties going. There's music, like, and they're running out of money. So here's what we're going to do. Like, we're just going to start offering them like, hey, we'll fund your party. You don't have to worry about the money part. Just like make cool plays and make funny costumes and design all this music and just make it like the coolest thing that you could want to do. So of course, the original founders are like, man, this is great. Like we could just do our thing. And what they don't realize is that slowly over time, they just become like the hired entertainers for the actual money bags that they were originally trying to get away from. That's why they called it the Bohemian Club. They didn't want to be part of this like civilized, business world. They wanted to be bohemians and go back out into nature and just like be artistic and be themselves. And as soon as the money bags get out there, they're like, this is mine now. You work for me. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't notice, I've been paying the bills for this place for the last 3 or 4 years. So actually, I'll invite you back next year. You're not inviting me. I'm inviting you. And that dynamic completely flipped. But that was the original DNA, is that the Bohemian Club was about artists that wanted to get away from like the mundane world and having to work for like the corporate overseers. And then they came in and took it over, and they kept the exact same motif and they do all the same practices. But now it's like the rich and the powerful that are going there to blow off steam, and it's not the artists that are going there to blow off steam.